Okay, YouTube. So earlier in the time lapse, my phone ended up dying, so I didn't get to show this angled part getting finished. You guys got the idea, but I didn't like just the basic truck box look. For the tweeters, that wasn't going to work for me. I liked, trying to aim them up towards the front a little bit, so that was my idea. Came out pretty nice. Of course, these are just something to hold speakers until I get some door panels, which I want to take my time on and do right. I may or may not carpet these. They were designed for the Sundown Neo Pro 8s, and turns out that when I was installing them yesterday, I realized one of them is bad. It has a bad coil, so I ordered the only ones I could find right now that are in stock that'll fit this enclosure are the Skar. I think it's a Skar 8-inch mid-range. I think they're like 180 watts. These will be crossed over around 120 hertz and up. And I have the Down for Sound 6.5 DS 4560s. Those are these two 6.5 speakers. And then I also have the Down for Sound tweeters. I think they're a T25, but they're the same thing as the Def Bounce or Def Bounce T25 tweeters. I got the Down for Sound passive crossovers with them. You can see that inside here. And then I threw a couple terminal cups on there from Amazon. But I was listening to these yesterday and they sound amazing. Today I'm also going to be installing two more 8Ks. I have the two 8Ks in here now. And at the last Mecca event, 38 hertz, I was able to score a 156.8, and it turns out that the bass knob that I use, which is this Down for Sound subwoofer style bass knob, you can see how big the handle is. Oh, and it spins super easy. And what happened was it was sitting down inside here and it was just bouncing around during the test, and it turned itself down like 20%. I was so upset before I realized, it had happened, but I might have got a little bit better score. But I was just using these two 8Ks to break in the subs anyway, and I figured to do it right, we'll get 4 of the Taramps 8Ks, but it turns out that the PSI company sent me the wrong ohm loads for my subs. I asked for 0.5 and they sent me 0.7, so I end up getting a 1.4 ohm load, static ohm load to each one of these Taramps 8Ks, which isn't bad. I might not be able to get every little bit out of it, but I'm sure they'll still play good. And in the future, I'm going to be running my Taramps Bass 30K. Sorry, my place is a wreck. And it'll end up being a 1.4. No, I'm sorry. Let me think about that. It'll end up being a it'll be a 1.4 ohm load on that also. So we'll see what that does. We'll see what's better, the 4 8Ks or the Bass 30K. I'll try to get some numbers either way. But that's what I'm up to. And sorry I haven't been posting a lot of videos lately. It's just been so busy. I finally had a little bit of time to get some stuff done. I'm going to end up putting these other two 8Ks on the side here. And today I'm wiring them up with 2-watt welding wire. I've got all kind of wire everywhere hanging out and trying to figure out the best way to run it. All this is a bit of a mess, obviously, but this is all just testing, and eventually I do want to put that base 30K. That's the whole idea behind this build. So all this stuff is just temporary, and it's kind of spaghetti for now, but it works. One thing I did do 2 nights ago is I ran a new 4/0 wire, which is this one here, the one that's the charger's on, and I also ran another 4/0 cable all the way to the ground on the alternator, and ran them all the way back to the back and directly to the battery. Here's the 4/0 power, and the 4/0 ground is here, so hopefully that'll fix some charging issues. And I don't know if I had mentioned before, but I also got, let's see, another alternator. For the dual alternator setup. This is a JS 370 alt, and right now it's internally regulated, and I called them up and they're going to send me parts to retrofit it, so it'll be externally regulated, so my fat boy external regulator can hook up to that. And I have, in the future here, I'll be installing this dual alternator setup. It'll go right up in this area here, and I'm just waiting on the parts for that alt to come in. And that was an alternator that I actually purchased for another Chevy Tahoe build that I was going to do and never ended up doing, and it turns out that I was super lucky, and that is the exact alternator that is designed for this dual alternator setup for the Ford 4.0 engine. Probably nobody knows this, but if you have the Ford 4.0 engine and you get a dual alternator setup, don't go and buy another Ford alternator, because it won't fit. It'll look just like this one here, and the brackets are in the wrong place. They go up and down instead of front to back. And don't make the mistake I did. I ended up doing that myself. I'm not sure where my alternator is now, but I have another 390 amp alternator. Oh, it's actually sent it back to JS alternators to, what was wrong with that thing? It had the wrong post on it. It had a post that was firing out the back, and I needed to fire straight up like this one does. And I'm not sure why they didn't catch that, but hopefully they'll know for the future. For any Explorers, they gotta have that post on the top. So I sent it back in. This CES 370 is still working good for me, but I'll have that other JS 390 if I end up needing it. If this thing ever goes bad on me, I'll have a backup alternator. Got all kind of backup stuff. So I actually have a whole nother 370 Chevy alternator in this box. So I actually have 2 backup alternators. So I wish I could fit 3 of them on here. I think they do make another kit for that, but I don't know. It's around 350 bucks. I don't know if it's worth spending the money as of right now, but maybe in the future. But this thing's getting pretty crazy. Starting to get a lot of stuff done here, and there's plenty more to come.